Well, we're getting ready for some spooky pictures today. I have some kindergartners with me, and we're being inspired by some spooky stories right here that we have. So if you have any spooky stories, it's a good time to read them here in the month of October, getting ready for Halloween. Here are some of my favorite spooky stories that I like to share with my friends and get inspiration for our art pictures today. And today we're going to be making a spooky castle. And I'm going to show you how to draw this step by step. So the first thing we want to do is we're going to be making the base of our castle. So we're going to take our paper and we want to go from side to side and put the castle on some ground. So we're going to do a horizontal line. Our first step is to give it a ground. So we're going to go down near the bottom of our page and we're going to go from one side, a horizontal line, could be a little wavy, all the way to the other side of your paper. A nice straight horizontal line. That's the ground. Now we're going to go in the very middle of our page. And we're going to jump to the middle here of our page, right here. And in the very middle, we're going to make another horizontal line. Make it a little bit longer. If you open up your fingers, you want it, if you spread your hand out, you want it to be a little bit bigger than your fingers. See, when you spread your hand out. Now we're going to go down, down. So if we make a fist, it's a huge square. See how big it is? Now, this is a spooky castle. So if you have crooked lines, that's okay. If you have lines that are a little wavy, that's okay. Actually, Vincent van Gogh, he was a famous artist, he drew a picture of this church and he made it look a little spooky looking because his lines were a little wavy. That kind of made it feel a little bit spooky. See how they're a little wavy? So if yours are wavy, that's okay too. So now we have our base of our castle. So now we're going to come over on one side. And that's a straight line over. And we're going to go straight line over on the other side. And now we're going to drop down straight, drop down straight. Just like we build blocks when we put one block on top of another to build houses and castles out of wood blocks, we're going to do the same here. Now we're going to do another rectangle here. So watch me first. I'm going to go up, up. See how I jumped in from the sides? And I'm going to go across the top. So I have a building here and another building here. Now we're going to go up, up. And then we'll go out, out. And we can connect this together here. This is a very tall castle. Now do a straight line, straight line. Now we're going to connect it straight at the top. And then I'm going to make squares. Up, over, back, up, over, back, up, over, back, up, over, back. Now some of you might not have room because we're near the top of the page, but that's okay. If you have no room, just leave it straight. So we have a block castle now. Now we're going to add details to the castle. So I'm going to show you what we can do. We're going to add some roofs. Let's look at some castle parts here. Here's some roofs to the castle. We could do it rounded or pointed like triangles. Here on the top, we just made this with little rectangles. That's called a battlement. At the top is the battlement where they protect the castle. Let's do triangle roofs here. So we're going to come from this spot, go up, diagonal, back down. Just like an ice cream cone. Remember we made ice cream cones?
Yeah.
Now we're going to do a triangle here. Up, back down. So now we have the castle building. We've got the roofs, a battlement. Now we have 2 towers because these are going to formed the towers. Now we get to decorate it.
Yay!
So watch how we're going to decorate it. We can add things that are spooky to make our spooky castle. Now, boys and girls, as always, when you're in art class, you make it the way you want it. So if you don't want to add anything spooky, you don't have to. You could make it a friendly princess castle with a princess and maybe a unicorn, maybe a knight in shining armor. But if you want to make it a spooky castle, you may draw along with me. So let's think of some things that are spooky. Look, we've got some black cats that could be spooky. We've got some pumpkins. You could even put in jack-o'-lanterns to make it spooky. Here I have some bats and some spooky ghosts. I'm going to show you how to add some spooky ghosts peeking out the window next. If you don't want to add the spooky ghosts, you don't have to. But let's add some windows together. Let's go to the place on the page here where we want to add our window. And I always start with a straight line at the bottom. And we can have windows that are called Gothic style, which are kind of pointy at the top. We could do round windows, rectangular windows, or these dome curved windows. So it's up to you what kind of windows. I'm going to do curved at the top. So I'm going to come up and back. I made my windows exaggerated, which means bigger than real life. That way we can put somebody in the window. Who's going to be in your window? Is it going to be Rapunzel with her long hair? Is it going to be a little ghost peeking out? Is it going to be a cat peeking out the window? I'm going to show you now how to do a ghost. And a ghost is just simply an oval colored in, an oval colored in, 2 ovals in a row with an oval for a mouth. Boo, he's saying. And then I do a free-form curve around him, just a wiggly line. And there you have a spooky ghost. You can put whoever you want in this window. It could be another ghost, a spooky cat. Let me show you how to make a spooky cat, but I'll put it next to the tower at the bottom here. A little spooky cat is a curve do a curve again, and I just color this curve in. I do a circle on this end. I do 2 triangles for ears. I color in that. This is a cat, which is the back is arching. And a curvy tail, up and back. And there you have a cat that's arching its back. A sitting cat is just a circle. Come down, color that all in. Curly tail up, curve it up. And the triangle ears, that's a sitting cat. I'll make them a little bit tummier, a little bit bigger. Here's another symbol of Halloween or spooky. This is a bat. I'll show you how to make a flying bat. I'm going to go in this sky area over here, and I'm going to do a circle for the head. And these are small. Watch my paper. See how small they are on my paper? Then I do a skinny down and up U. And then I go over and over. I put 2 little lines. Actually, they're triangle shapes, but it's so small, sometimes it looks just like a line. For ears. And then the bats have the wings that are curved. So they go, let me show you this way. So it goes down and up, down and up, down and up. A curved wings. So we go like this. Okay? And then we color that in. At dusk, I was out one time in New Mexico near a cave. It's Carlsbad Caverns. We can add another bat right here while I talk to you about the Carlsbad. Usually the bats come together and they fly out at the same time. And I saw thousands of bats. There's my U shape, flying out together at the same time. They were in a colony of bats. And at dusk, which is right when the sun starts to go down, right after the sun goes down, they all came out. And they flew together. Now I'm going to draw another bat that's really small because he's super far away. So we can draw them in different sizes, because when we add variation together, variation in our art picture, it makes it more interesting and realistic. So there is the bats. That's another symbol of something that is spooky. If you want to draw a ghost flying in the air, let's do that. I'm going to turn my paper sideways and do the oval for the face. That's an oval, and then an oval for the mouth. And then I simply just draw around all of that. It's an N-shaped curve. Then I tilt my paper back the right way. See that? And of course you can make these as big as small as you want. And then I go wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. I curve down and bring it to a point. And you can add another little friend right here if you want, another ghost friend. Long, narrow ovals. Woo! And I made this one really small. They flew out the window. Woo! Now let's look at the doorways. We can add some doorways. This almost looks like a dungeon doorway. It's got these iron grids so that nobody can get through. So let's do a doorway. We're going to come up, over, and back. We'll add a large square doorway. And then inside that, we'll add a giant curve. That's an archway. One time, I went through this giant archway that was very similar to this. Do another line. And now we're going to add some horizontal lines for the metal to come through, the iron doors. There's 2 pieces of metal here. We can add some nails. And then I'm going to come down with straight lines for the bars on the door. See how I go behind? Straight lines down. And you can add some nails on here too, on the bars. And now it looks really scary because you got these iron bars protecting the insides of that castle. We can add pattern to this. Pattern in the roof. So we could do lines in the roof, or you could do these U-shape tiles. So it's down and up. See how I make lots of letter U's? And when I put them together, it forms the roof pattern. It also gives a feeling that this is bumpy by making the letter U's. It's in a row. Let me show you on this side now. I'll show you close up. Letter U, U. I keep on making them. And I layer them on top of each other, doing it carefully and neatly. And the U's become the tiles of the roof, and they form the pattern. You can always finish this on your own if I'm going fast for you, because you can add this detail on your own. Again, you don't have to add anything I'm adding. You can do your own. You can add more windows wherever you want. You can add more of these battlements if you want to come across the top. These are rectangles or squares. You can even do a row of them here. This might add some neat pattern. You see how the squares or rectangles make patterns? When you put them in a row, it adds detail, and look at that. It makes it more interesting, doesn't it? Now again, that's up to you. You don't have to. I'm going to put some more windows in. I'm going to do 2 more windows here. If you have room, you can do windows too. If you do not have room, you don't have to add the windows. You want to know how to make stairs? All right, watch this. This is fun. It's called a zigzag. From the door, go down straight, over, down again. over, down again. Then from the door, go down and connect. I went across. Now I'm going to go over, down, across. See how I connect it to this line? Over, down, across. And I just added some stairs in front of the castle. Yes, you may decorate your castle. You may add pumpkins. Here's a pumpkin, a letter C. This is going to be a giant pumpkin, a backwards letter C. And then I add lines inside the pumpkin that are curved with a stem. If you want to draw a pumpkin, you can add a pumpkin. If you want to add a spider web, you can attach one right between here. It could be a giant spider web. So I find two places between the building. I find two areas on each side of the building. And then I just find a middle. So I'm going to put a dot in the middle. Then I simply take the top edge of the building, come straight down through the dot. And I'm coming off the top of the roof, through the dot. And I'm going to build my web this way, crossing through, and then I'll add one coming down this way. Now I'm just going to simply connect the lines, putting straight lines. Straight lines coming through. Let's look at a real spider web and see what they look like. And now you can decorate your castle any way you want.